And welcome back here, 2022 NXL Golden State Open. I'm Matty Marshall, Rich Telford. And we are jumping into this next set, getting things started. PaintballFIT and Carolina Crisis. Crisis already warmed up with a win against Notorious.
Both teams dropping a player on the mat, break mat.
Looks like, yeah, FIT dropping a body.
FIT dropping a second body now.
Looks like Crisis is going to be dropping another body from that B side.
3-on-3 pretty quickly, and this is first point, Matty. We were talking earlier that we thought Carolina Crisis had a little bit of an advantage because they already played 1 point on this, one match on this field, but they only played like 3 or 4 points, so not a huge advantage. 3-on-3.
Well, Carolina Crisis with a 4th place finish at the first event. They weren't at the last Open, and then they took 17th at the last event, so tough one there. And yeah. PaintballFIT on paper for sure the favorite in this one here, Rich, is they're the first ranked team overall.
Yeah, they're winning this first this point as well, Matt.
Yeah, they won the major and then took 4th at the Open and then 7th at the last major as well. Blastcamp's right behind them though with 2 wins in a row, 272 to 266 overall points. But you know, so yeah, FIT and Blastcamp.
I think FIT just came down and won the Open division at the WCPL as well.
And Notorious is also going to be pretty close as well because Notorious is ranked 3rd overall and they're at 258. So the top 3 teams, 272, 266, and 258. It's really close here as who's going to win that spot and go pro in 2023.
Yeah, that's a great little battle there.
You know, PaintballFIT,
especially for FIT and Blastcamp because they're from the same area.
Well, with FIT, I mean, a lot of those guys have already played pro, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So
they
got knocked out last year. Yeah. We were at the beginning of the year. We were kind of joking if there was a. You know, we got semi-pro and pro. If there was a league that should be in between semi-pro and pro, that's where FIT should be playing because of how good they looked in the beginning of the season. But then a 4th and a 7th, and the rise of Blastcamp, and then Notorious hanging in there with, you know, a 2nd, a 7th, and an 8th to be in the conversation. The Killers, a 5th, a 3rd, and a 12th. They're not here at this one, sitting at 237. So if they win out the next 2 events, maybe they still got an outside chance. But
they're hurting themselves by not playing this event. Certainly, though, they're going to lose those points. Yeah, it's 3 points. You can either, you know, trade that low place for a higher place.
Yeah, if they had come here and taken a better than a 12th, they could move that score out. And you know, they just went semi-pro. So
yeah.
Anyway, no, it looks like. Okay, I thought for a second they were letting the clock run out.
Getting ready for a war. Next 2 matches with Notorious and Distortion. Both teams looking good in their first match. I think out of the 2, maybe Distortion looked a little bit better off the back of Haber.
Well, there was a tie game. Notorious took a loss. A tie for Distortion, loss for Notorious, but they only played 3 points in that game.
That's crazy, right?
So, yeah, so it looks like Notorious going to be starting from the red side.
And not sure what's going on. Distortion just left the field.
Yeah, I'm wondering what is going on right now too.
I think maybe you and I should go down and just walk around and see if we can figure out what's going on.
No,
we can grab a coffee while we're down there.
Yeah, well,
we'll get back to you guys and let you know.
Notorious is on your screen and ready to go. But we have no Distortion.
Maybe they scared Distortion off the field. Distortion's like, those guys look super serious. Let's just give them a match. Distortion's got 1 back on the field. Another beautiful day here at Capitol Edge Paintball Field.
Yeah, Distortion, I don't know what's going on with Distortion right now. They're still in the pits.
Might be a timeout or something that we don't know about.
They have, yeah, maybe a technical timeout.
Yeah, referees cleaning the bunkers or something.
But yeah, Notorious is ready to go, pacing around. So Notorious picking up Grayson Gladstone from AC Diesel.
He struggled a little bit that first match. Not that he was doing anything wrong, but they were keying up on him for sure.
And they only played 3 points, right? So he didn't really get that many spins out there.
Yep.
And this is a blind layout, and there are some treacherous positions out there where you're going to be running into guns. So looking for Grayson to pick it up and, you know, play the ball. We know he can play. White was outstanding for him. He just needed one more pod.
Poor kid.
Like 10 more paintballs. But
he's got his own training facility now, the White training facility.
Yeah. He also needed to eat a cheeseburger in between games because he burnt 3,000 calories.
You want cardio for days? Come to White's training.
Yeah, so still waiting for Distortion to take the field. I wonder if we got an air station down or something, or...
Yeah, the refs are over there talking to somebody, so obviously something's going on. And Distortion did have 5 bodies on the field earlier. They just trickled off the field now, waiting for this game to start. So, and the referees are all cleaning the bunkers and deflate the bunkers, so it might just be a referee timeout. Again, with the not being a major, we have a little bit more time in the schedule, so they're not going to be hustling them quite as much as they usually do.
I mean, it wasn't awesome when I woke up at 5 o'clock this morning, but it is nice to get started at 7 a.m.
Why would you wake up at 5 to get here at 7?
Well, I woke up at 5.
Guys, he just lied to you guys. He did not get up
I woke up at 5
sure.
because I have a young son, and he wakes me up at 5 o'clock in the morning. He's actually been waking up at like 4:45 some days, which is just not that awesome at all.
So you're not giving him the whiskey anymore?
He is a bit Irish, but it's still a little too early for the whiskey.
Oh, again,
sorry,
Southern California.
In our culture, we wait until 3 or 4.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want it to be soft, that's fine. Wait till 3 or 4. He might not even get a taste for it by then. 1 minute. I heard Jason yell 1 minute, so hopefully 1 minute before we get to play some paintball or watch some paintball.
We haven't seen.
Although Distortion is still not on the field.
We have seen some good paintball here.
Yeah, dude. For a cool Friday morning, pretty amazing.
Never know what's going to happen in events. Sometimes things start out with a couple blowouts, and you're like, oh, okay, well, I was hoping for some closer games, but we got basically nothing but closer games because the games that were edging towards blowouts, something would go down, and then one team would pick it back up.
I don't want to jinx ourselves. And between the two of us, I don't know if anybody's watched more paintball in the world than we have, but this has been the best season for paintball, like the best matches, the best games, the best action. Just the layouts have been good, the teams have been good. It's just been really, really good.
Well, the parity in the league, first of all, even in the semi-pros, right? You have all these guys working really hard to get into the pros, so the semi-pros are getting better, the divisionals are getting better. But then, in the pro league, there's 20 pro teams, but that middle of the pack, when we're looking at like 8, 9 teams that could have a chance to win an event, I mean, outside chance for the obviously down to 9 and 8, but anyway, jumping into this first point here, Distortion on the blue side, and man, Dave Haber.
Shockingly, Haber's in the 50.
Yeah.
But he doesn't get his gun up because he could have smashed that dude filling.
And so White going to get in there with him. So it's going to be a White versus Haber battle as body coming off early here for Notorious. And then Haber's going to crawl forward. Got to be careful not to hit that bunker. White gets a kill cross field, but he's about to get stabbed by Haber.
I love that goon hand.
That's the second kill we've seen out of Haber in 4 points by doing that exact same move. Might get a free kill cross field. I want Haber to have his gun up a little bit more, right? So he gets into these really great spots.
And he misses him on the first gap, Matt, and then lets him go through the second gap because, again, does not have his gun up. Grayson with a good fill to the corner. Eventually, that guy does get clipped across the field. Distortion with 2 or 3 guys left alive, though. I mean, leaving the field too, Matty. I think this might be a 3-on-2. Grayson made a great move over here.
Oh,
Nobody
Grayson's
saw him.
about to dice up, gets one, and does he get 2? Got to be careful not to get a penalty. A little 2-pack here for Grayson Gladstone.
Nice move, unfortunately draws the penalty.
Penalty going to be assessed here on Grayson on that run through that pulls off. Is that Markey?
He got, no.
Not Markey.
No. He got the first guy clean, just stayed a little bit too long on the trigger on the second guy.
It was a pretty nice move. It
was a great move. Just missed the first shot on the second guy. Leaving one player left alive in the corner for Distortion. And forces Notorious to concede that first point.
Yeah, I mean, Grayson was kind of put in a spot where he kind of had to do something. The way the guns were shifted and the situation presented itself and made the move. But, yeah, to stay on that second guy just a little bit, one extra step, essentially.
Great move, just a little bit poor execution on the end of that move. 90% of an amazing move.
Another good job by Dave Haber over here. Like we were talking about, he just needs to get his gun up a little bit earlier and be a little bit more diligent about watching lanes.
I think if he knew how many kills he was giving up, like just free, easy kills, he'd be like, oh, you know what? I'm going to listen to those guys.
Yeah, I mean, he's just been unstoppable here for Distortion in this X and getting to, and he's been in different spots too. He gets to that 50, crawls out wide. He's been getting past the 50. It's just needs to stay on those lanes a bit more because, like you said, he is giving up some kills. I mean, he could probably have 4 or 5 more kills if he had just been a little bit more.
Maybe he's just not greedy
on those lanes.
You know, he's like, I gotta feed
wants to give the kills to his boys.
Kills to my boys. There we go, Carolina Crisis breaking out from the red side of the field. Losing nobody and eliminating 1 player from Distortion, 2 players from FIT. So 3 players from FIT now, only 2 players left from live from FIT. Looks like Carolina Crisis is going to come back to the second point and get a win. 5-on-2 situation here. Fit with one player in the X corner, one player in the back center, although Carolina Crisis does lose their first player, going from a 5-on-2 to a 4-on-2 now.
Yeah, so Crisis in some good positions here, about to get
Adams up here on the tape.
Yeah, into this X structure, and here comes Fit with a little bit of a reposition.
Yeah.
Into the center. Looking outside towards that D side.
Yeah, Fit loses their back center guy. It's the only one player left alive here for Fit. He is in the 50. I think once they find out where he is, he's going to get, yeah, they catch him.
Yeah, Adams comes through, dices up Lukau, and that is going to do it. So Crisis on the board.
We got a game, 1-1. 13 minutes left.
Already back and forth battle.
Fit having a real hard time surviving that breakout, and just, you know, when you're 5-on-2 or 5-on-3, you're in the center of the field, you're in a tough spot.
Yeah, we kind of discussed this a bit already. I guess it bears repeating now. Something we will continue the discussion on is that survivability has been an issue for a lot of people out here. And walking this field yesterday, we talked about this during the Open before the first match, was that probably going to see a decent amount of guys lose gunfights.
100%, especially on that D side.
And look, every field's it's paintball. Yes, everyone's going to be losing gunfights throughout a tournament, but with the way this field is laid out, the fact that it's a blind layout and guys are going to be maybe second-guessing moves because they haven't had 70 reps over 2 weekends
100%.
to figure it out, and the way that these back bunkers are a little seductive, and the way you think you can oh, look at this turret. I can get out to this back corner bunker and I can shoot it at everybody. So, and then the way that the D side is lined up, when you get out to that backhand, it's just a gunfight alley on that side. If you're in the Doritos, they're all lined up, same thing there. The outside mini walls, same thing there. So because a lot of guys are getting lured into these gunfights and not really knowing what the best game plan is yet, we're watching a lot of guys lose gunfights this morning, and we just saw PaintballFIT do that a bit here.
Yep.
And PaintballFIT, I mean, there's not a lot of teams that play as much paintball as FIT does because of that awesome training facility they have down there.
That's a huge advantage for anybody in that area.
But that's something, if you those guys are known as amazing gunfighters, right? That's their stock and trade. That's the best part of the game that they have dialed in.
They're like the Matty Marshalls of this generation.
5-on-5 breakout for both teams. I'm getting old. But yeah, so good breakout here is Haber on the
Haber
second.
Finally gets to the X.
Secondary this time. Looks like Notorious having a little bit of an issue with the loader in there. He's had to do a little gun surgery.
Yeah, he got in there first, but his gun didn't work, so he wasn't able to do anything. Haber gets in there again and misses that cross shot as the guy goes to Dorito 3. Haber repositions, goes outside of the X. They fill into the corner behind him. That's a great fill. Distortion in a good position here, although they do lose the corner behind him. Haber going forward. Looks like he might get this kill inside.
Yeah. Problem for Notorious.
Might get the other guy behind him. He misses his cross shot.
Well, so he got in there and he got a little, I would say, tunnel vision because he needed to do the surgery on his gun.
Yeah.
Oh, and Haber with a little two-pack. It's a crossfield kill on Grayson.
That might be the last guy, Matty.
No, there's one guy in the last corner bunker, or back corner bunker.
At least one left for Notorious in this X side corner. Distortion, though, with 4 bodies left alive.
Yeah, they had CJ in there. Nice job by CJ. He's been playing well with Haber.
We haven't seen a lot of guys playing that center cam, but CJ went up there and played it well.
Yeah, Distortion, a bulk of players from the Outlaws. They got CJ out there. You got Haber, Wank, and Unger. So, I mean, that's a pretty experienced semi-pro squad right there.
For sure.
Yeah, it is getting interesting in the semi-pro division this year. Decent amount of teams. We were talking, you just joined us, we were talking at the beginning of this one, that have a chance to earn that spot. I mean, the
it's pretty cool.
Top 4 teams are pretty close. So obviously what happens here is very important, and then the next 2 events, it's going to be a fascinating story to track to see who is going to be the team that moves up in the pro division, as every year one team gets relegated down and one team will get promoted up from the semi-pro division. So who's it going to be? Is it going to be FIT?
One of these 4 teams.
Yeah.
I bet it's a team from Texas.
Yeah, I mean, FIT, Last Camp, and Notorious have a real good chance. Killers, maybe, outside chance. Distortion, if they win out, maybe. They're sitting at 5th. 5-on-5 break. PaintballFIT now on the red side, and a good move. Yeah, getting up into D3 real early. It's a good spot to be in.
And walking the field, I thought people would be up in that D3 more than they are. So I must have missed something.
Well, I don't think you missed it. I think minor penalty here assessed on Crisis. It's not going to help their chances in this one. They had a body in D3. He loses a gunfight down that line.
2-on-5 advantage here for FIT, Matty.
Yeah, Fit's looking pretty good here in this one. I mean, like they could easily take the lead as long as they execute. We have seen teams throw away high body situations out here this morning already.
And you can tell how hard it is to see what's going on in there by the way these guys are playing. They have no idea it's a 5-on-2 or 5-on-1 now. They're still playing tight in their bunkers as if, you know, they have a lot of pressure because they just can't see anybody out there. 5-on-0, they're still all shooting their guns. They finally figured it out. Roger's pushing up on this X side for Fit.
Yeah, that was a textbook point there from PaintballFIT. Good to see him tighten things back up.
Yep.
Again, known as amazing gunfighters. They have offense. I mean, you don't do as well as PaintballFIT has done without having some offense, but
their biggest offense is the breakout.
Yeah, well, they play so much paintball, and anyone that's grinded as much as Fit grinds knows that, man, your snapshot gets real dialed. You feel
your break shooting too, right?
Your break shooting, your snapshot, the pressure that you are able to put on your opponents, and then your survivability, because you feel much more comfortable in that gunfight. So sometimes that will produce that extra edge that is needed to prevail out here. And some teams are just, and some players are just better gunfighters. It's like, I've heard this from top-level pros. If Tyler Harmon is against you in a gunfight, you're going to give him a little bit more leeway and let him have a little bit more than you would some of the newer guys out here that don't have his gunfighting ability.
I watched Malloy put on a clinic up in New York for a couple weekends in a row against the New York guys who are, you know, pretty good gunfighters.
Mm-hmm.
And by the end of it, I was like, listen, you get one shot. If you get him on the first snap, great. If not, hide. Good breakout here for both teams. 5 alive.
Looks like Haber.
Oh, they finally stop Haber.
Yeah, so if you're playing Distortion, you need to put pressure on Haber. And sure enough, that's what Notorious does.
Haber's like, shut up, Matt. Jesus. You're trying to make it harder for me?
It's not a secret. It's pretty obvious. It's literally the word of the definition of the word blatant right there. Is what's happening, because Haber is just, you have to put pressure on Haber. He's going to be making moves. So, but they do a good job of it. Notorious taking over the attack with White. He's in the X, he's outside wide. Doesn't have outside contain those. There's a player out in that back corner bunker here for Distortion with CJ, and then Wayne's gonna move up. Yeah, it's 2v2 here down this sideline. That back bunker is a little inset from the 50s.
Notorious losing their first attacker on the D side.
Really more the 40s, because the 50s inset too.
Yep. Yeah, it's definitely a weird kind of layout.
I like it though.
Yeah,
I really like this layout just from what we've seen so far.
Grayson with a great move into that X.
White not able to get the crossfield shot. Grayson with the fill to help White out. So 2 bodies now for Notorious here on the red side. Grayson's going to come and stitch up Wank. Wank has his gun down. Nice move for Grayson. Grayson gets across untouched, forcing the reaction from CJ. And then CJ is going to get bunkered by, that is not White.
Nope.
And then he ends up getting taken out.
Great move over here, though. 1-on-1 now. 2-on-1, Matty, sorry. Notorious advantage. Although, I think Markey just got caught out of the back there.
Oh, this was a beautiful back and forth battle. Do we have our first 1-on-1 of the tournament? No, there's still a body in the back corner bunker here for Distortion.
Okay.
So I think it's a 2-on-1.
Yeah. 2-on-1. FSU taking the move, though.
About to be a 1-on-1.
Notorious taking the move.
It's now a 1-on-1 here with a beautiful move from Notorious.
Wow, he's going to pull off this 2-on-1. He got it.
Oh, and he pulls off the 1-on-2.
Nice.
Absolutely beautiful.
Man, he gets 2 coins for that. That's awesome.
No, he does not get 2 coins.
He will, because he played the first guy in a 1-on-1.
Oh, here we go.
And then he played the second guy in a 1-on-1.
No, he didn't play it's a 1-on-2.
The other guy didn't shoot at him.
We are going to have 1-on-2 coins, courtesy of Hormesis.
You're welcome, everybody, because if it wasn't Rich crying and whining about it for the last year and a half, it would have never happened. No big deal. I don't need like a statue or anything.
Well, we also have so we have a new sponsor coming in for this event.
Lexus?
No.
Mercedes?
No.
Damn it.
But it's a law firm.
Oh,
and
nice.
They're sponsoring a move of the tournament.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, so it's a cash prize too.
Ooh, that's even better.
Yeah, so
is it $1 million?
Best move? No, best move. Yeah, and I wish. No, but it's still substantial. So the best move.
Back up again.
Can you just let me go? So the best move of the prelims will get $500.
That's awesome.
And the best move is Sunday. We'll get $1,000.
That's awesome.
Courtesy of McClinley, Mosley, and Associates.
Thank you, guys. We really appreciate that.
It's a good law firm, too. They represent businesses and individuals going after insurance companies for property. So
nice.
Yeah, so if you...
Thank you, guys.
Need...
M&M and Associates. Where are they from?
Down out of Houston, Texas.
Nice.
In the south, but...
Thank you, Texas, for supporting paintball.
But they fly all over, so we'll be mentioning that all weekend long.
Crisis loses their first player. Guy going outside on the X side of the field. FIT dropping 1, now 2, and drawing a penalty 2, Matt. So 3 players for FIT taking a walk. Only 2 players left alive for FIT. The V50 over there and the tower. The V50 does shoot a guy, though, so now it's a 2-on-2. FIT went from a 5-on-3 to a 2-on-2. FIT might have lost another player. Might only be 1 FIT player. No, 2 FIT players left alive, although Crisis loses another.
A bomb did blow up over there, but they do have 2 bodies. There's another bloodbath point, man.
Yeah,
Crisis has lost a ton of bodies, too.
Yeah, Crisis just threw this away. Unless this last player for Crisis can pull off another 1-on-2 situation. Does not look like it, though. As one of the Lockout brothers swings this side, spreads the field, gets the kill. FIT gonna win this with 2 bodies left alive. Gonna be 3-1 with a little bit more than 10 minutes left in the match.
As soon as they count, because so many bodies died early. Unless there's 1 body in the back corner. Do you see
or the back center. They could be in either spot. We can't see it.
Yeah, blocked out.
But I don't think so. I think I counted 5.
Yeah, and as always, trying to keep that count very difficult. Blind layout going to make it even more difficult because you don't know where people are traditionally going to be based on the situation. And there are a lot of big back bunkers. There's a lot of bunkers back there. So obviously all the big bunkers in the middle, but walking this field, I'm like, man, there's some legit back spots out back here.
And lots of, like, you know, stand-ups too, right? Like a corner stand-up is very rare.
Because sometimes there's like a little cake back there. Some bunker, you're like, well, we can be here,
no, there's
but
a pin
it's kind of terrible.
Matt, I need you to play that pin in the corner.
Like, ideally, I don't want to be in this spot. I walked both the back corner bunker and on the X and the back can on the D side. I'm like, okay, this is I like spots like this. These are traditional gunfighting spots.
30 seconds.
So 2-1 Distortion up over Notorious.
Yeah, Notorious struggling a little bit trying to find their feet here so far this weekend.
Well, we'll see if Notorious can continue to shut down Haber, but obviously it's not just Haber because, as we've been talking about, I mean, there's a lot of experience on this Chicago Distortion squad, a lot of pro experience out there trying to fight their way back into the pro division. Distortion name's been around for a long time.
Yeah, watching Distortion playing FIT would be like pretty much watching a pro match.
And Notorious, past couple years, been rising up the ranks and have been impressive when we've seen them. And body dropping here early for Distortion. It's not going to help try to protect this lead, and here comes
Notorious with attackers down the Drew side, V side, and Mark Franz up the center. Second Distortion player taking a walk now. 3-on-5 advantage here for Notorious.
CJ taking the walk, but here comes Haber. Haber's going to mirror up the move from Notorious.
Haber gets caught on that cross shot.
Yeah, that's the blessing of having a body at that 50-yard line on the D side early. Grayson Gladstone going to glide up here, try to put some pressure. Crossfield, he gets to the 50 as well, so full complement of bodies here for Austin Notorious as they're pushing these, trying to find these last couple kills.
So we'd like to see, going to be a tie score now with a little bit more than 9 minutes left. Great point there for Notorious. 5 bodies left alive. Won that breakout and just applied the pressure with 3 guys attacking at the same time. 2 on the tapes, 1 at the gut. Very good point for Notorious. Maybe they're back into this match.
Yeah, so I'm just loving these close games, man. No, we just need Crisis to step up here.
Yeah.
Again, though, on paper, this is an underdog situation here for
sure.
Crisis, based on what we've seen and how good PaintballFIT has been this year. Crisis, another team really committing, and I like that program.
Yep. And it's been around for a while, too, right? They've been successful for, what, the last 4 or 5 years they've been on the top.
Yeah, it's just one of those stories. I mean, you don't hear necessarily, I mean, if you're used to watching pro paintball, unless you're playing in regional series and you see what those guys are doing in those series or you're playing against them. But all of these groups and these squads have been around for a bit, right? You know, very rarely does a team come in and make a big splash early in their careers in a division as high as semi-pro.
Or you don't recognize any names.
Yeah, it occasionally, you know, it does occasionally happen, but it is very rare. So just gotta, give respect to the work that these guys have done to get here.
FIT drops 1 on the break. Carolina drops 2 on the break. 4-on-3 advantage for FIT.
Yeah, it does look like, Rich, that these teams are already starting to figure out these off-the-break shots a little bit better, because we're starting to see more bodies drop here on the break.
Yeah, earlier today we had lots of 5-on-5 breakouts. We're hardly ever getting a 5-on-5 breakout.
Well, and again, when you play FIT, though, that's one of the big problems.
For sure.
Surviving the break, typically, if you're
That's their
playing
big
against
offense
FIT.
is shooting a guy or two on the break.
Paintball FIT plays up bodies a lot. And it's a lot easier to play paintball when it's 5-on-3 or 5-on-4.
Yeah. Especially when you can contain the other team in the pocket,
Or
right? You shoot their
4-on-3,
outside guys.
Absolutely.
Now they're stuck in the pocket, trying to get outside the pocket while you're just out there rolling your guns.
Well, FIT's trying to get outside the pocket now. Looks like he makes it clean to that back corner bunker on the D side.
Lockout now filling from the back center to the tower on the D side. 5 alive for FIT as they eliminate another player. 5-on-2 advantage here for PaintballFIT. Already up by a couple points here, so this is going to make it really, really tough for Carolina to get back into this match as FIT attacks to the X. Gets in there, starts looking around. Crisis loses another body. 5-on-1 advantage for FIT. 5-on-0 now as Rogers eliminates the last Crisis player.
Well, FIT extending their lead. Nice job by Rogers. Those lovely locks just flowing in the wind here. To go up by 3 now. There's still a lot of time, though.
I can tell you're getting ready to go on a vacation with your wife. With the lovely locks and the sexy corners.
I did not use
Matt's
the term sexy.
What would you say?
Seductive.
Oh, sorry. You're way off. Seductive corner, not sexy.
Hey, I'm a married man. I'll take it.
I was going to say, you got a baby at home. I understand completely. I'm just going to take a drink of this seductive water.
Is that yours? I thought
No,
that's mine.
that's yours.
Are you trying to steal my
no,
water
that's
again?
that's your water.
All right.
I know it is because I spit in it. Notorious coming back out. Got to feel a lot better after that last point. They look good.
Well, unfortunately for Notorious, they are in a spot where they need a win because they did drop their first game to Crisis.
Yeah.
Now, it was only by 1, but it was a loss nonetheless.
Yeah, you can't come out and lose both your first day. That makes your second day real rough.
Yeah. And Notorious, on paper, a little bit higher ranked here than Distortion, but not by much.
Yeah.
226 for Distortion overall points for the year and 258 for Notorious.
Distortion loses their first attacker on the Madrid side, Matty, so 4-on-5 advantage here for Notorious early on.
You know, look, that may be how it is on the standings, right? But if I'm going off experience, I would give the advantage to Distortion.
Oh, 100%. I mean, they've got a pro squad out there with all the outlaw guys.
Looks like, I think that's Unger taking the walk here for Distortion. Haber in another decent spot, but he's feeling the pinch cross field right now.
And this is how he got shot last game, too, is they got up to the Dorito side before he did and got their gun up on him.
Notorious going to do a little outside move, kind of gives up that angle. He was really putting the pinch on Haber, but maybe he felt like he couldn't stay alive if Haber established a lane, but Haber's getting pinched from multiple angles right now.
I think he should have stayed there and just pumped that lane on Haber and made it so Haber basically can't play paintball. Even if you don't kill him, you completely shut him down, right?
Yeah, and that's what you need to do when you're playing Haber, right? If you're putting so much pressure on him, he can't move. That really takes that big part of the offensive weapon and isolates him. But now Haber has been able to establish that lane. It did allow the Notorious player to get outside wide, so he does have outside contained right now.
Yep.
But he did allow Haber to get back in this game and get his gun up. But now Notorious moving past the 50 on that D side. He's on Distortion side of the field. See if he can do some work from there.
Yeah, Marquis Franz needs to reposition. He's in that center can. He's been in there for too long. Only thing that's saving him is the penetration that Notorious has over on the D side right now.
Yeah, he's kind of watching the angle because he's a little blocked out from the inside part of that. He's kind of hoping that Haber either jumps over the pin or comes around wide. Even when he comes around wide, he's not really going to have too much of a shot from that angle, especially he's feeling the pinch a little bit too. But Notorious from Marquis over has 3 bodies this way.
Do you notice how after White's big match earlier, we haven't seen him back over here in the snake? He's like, no, I'm not going, bro.
Well, unless he's wearing Franz's jersey.
I don't think so.
But White was wearing his jersey before, right?
Yes, he was, and not wearing a beanie. Notorious now all the way on Haber's side of the field.
Yeah, Haber gets him, and whoever this is wearing Marquis Franz's jersey comes through and shoots Haber. And Haber,
nice grouping there on
Haber,
Haber's neck.
Yeah, it's a great grouping. But he turns around.
I think I know who that. I know who that is.
Did you see Haber turn around though? And be like, where is everybody?
Yeah.
Oh, everyone's dead except for one over the body. Okay, great. Yeah. Well, Notorious was running a little bit of a racket, pushing up past that 50 on the D side.
Marky's over there now. Yeah, he's repositioned for that center can. Him and Grayson are going to close this out, win this point for Notorious. Good point.
No, 6:40 probably doesn't look like Distortion's conceding it, so probably be around 6:30, 6:25 left to go with a slight 1-point lead here for Notorious. There's Grayson Gladstone there
games,
on your screen with Marky Franz. Yeah, lower scoring games today for sure. I think that's just because of the layout, blind layout, so no one feels super confident necessarily in their game plans because they're untested.
Again, right? Yeah, if you've done something 70 or 80 times, you're like, oh, no, I got that bunker. Yeah, I can make that
know
shot.
that guy can't shoot me. Yeah, no, I know. We got this dialed.
Right now, it's all questions. Like, I think I could do that, maybe?
Yeah, typically when we have the majors and the layout is released 2 weeks ahead of time and you get 70 spins out there on it or around that through 2 weekends and 4 days of practice, sometimes more, it's about 95% dialed in by the time you get here. It's 0% dialed in for these teams. Maybe this afternoon things are going to be a little bit more dialed in.
After you've played a couple matches.
Well, no,
right?
more the fact that they've been able to watch the entire morning
Yeah.
and figure out what is and is not working. So right now it's blatantly apparent that the move to the 50 and the inside on the Dorito side and the V, that's a huge move. The guys are getting there early and getting gunned up on this X because the X is most of the time a little bit more slower developing if you get that guy up there early.
So now the next iteration of this field is how do we stop that guy, right? Because that guy's getting there early. He's canceling out our other side. How do we cancel him out? And then what's the next move after that?
Well, looks
Crisis
like
with 5 alive. Oh, as I say that.
Fit losing one of their big guns though off the break, so both teams dropping a body early.
And they shot this outside guy and bounced the inside guy. So Fitt's lines were on point, just didn't get the breaks. I think that's Adams taking a walk early for Crisis. He's been struggling a little over here on the snake side, but against one of the best laning teams in the division, that's going to happen. 4-on-4, Fit up by 3 points with a little bit less than 9 minutes left in this match. Carolina looking good their first match with a 1-point win, but struggling here in the second match against Fit.
Yeah,
and again, Fit has been able to do so well on the breakouts that they haven't really had to have a lot of offense. They've been up, like you said, almost every single point here. So they've just been kind of cruising, shooting from the back line and then rolling into the 50s when they have the opportunity and they're up on bodies.
They get Mason here in the 50. He's one of their guys that likes to make those nice big secondary moves and get into crucial spots. He's kind of like their Weber. We were talking about Weber for level. He's their version of that. Stays close to his front guys, makes moves at the right time typically. And he's in a good spot right now. Yeah, Crisis having a hard time. That was one of the big questions, right, Rich? Is in this situation, once your opponents have the 50s,
can you live in those spots?
And it's still close enough on the body count. Maybe you're one body down, but how many of those are we going to see pulled out from those back bunkers?
Right.
I think we've seen 2 maybe this morning so far.
And that was those guys, the other team throwing it away, not those 3 stepping up.
It's definitely more of multiple mistakes made on the team that has the ground.
Yeah, you're just trying to stay alive as long as you can, hoping the other team makes a mistake.
Yeah, I still think that, especially when you watch the ML Kings struggle, not taking much ground and not winning those low body situations from those back spots.
Yeah.
I just don't think that should be the game plan, right? A defensive-minded game plan.
Well, I agree with ML Kings surviving the breakout, but if you're surviving the breakout, but you're putting yourselves in a worse position than the team, you survived it, but you lost it.
Well, right now, Fit being very,
Roger's taking
very methodical here. They've taken these spots, but really no mistakes at all. They're talking it up.
Up by 3 points, right?
Yeah, they have a huge lead. No, it's not. Yeah, that's a pretty sizable lead. And they're doing this perfect. It's 7 minutes left. They have ground. They're up bodies. They're talking it up. They're just burning clock off right now.
Complete control this whole match.
Just beautiful job here from Fit.
Those guys move into a line. Both those guys moved into Mason's line. Mason shot both those guys with 1 paintball.
They just look so comfortable.
Yep.
And PaintballFIT, they really look like they play a ton of paintball, which they do. That's what I'm always hearing about those guys and the people that play around PaintballFIT, the field down there is, they play night ball. These guys, they grind.
Well, I think the key to what you said there is that they play a lot of paintball, and they play a lot of paintball where they're up on bodies. So they have that comfort. They're not hiding in their bunkers like, oh, man, I wish I could gunfight somebody. They're all just out there rolling their guns.
Well, and we talked about that too, but it's when you are that comfortable in your gunfights and you feel confident with your skills, it allows you to put a ton of pressure on your opponents.
Right.
It's tough to play a team like that because, when you're gunfighting guys that won't go in because you're not putting an accurate grouping on them.
Because you're not putting pressure back on.
Yeah, exactly. A really good gunfighter, you can, if you have good enough eyesight, you can see those paintballs coming at you, even though they're going 200 miles an hour. But and then a lot of times you're playing that stream of paint and not really the guy until he forces you to do that. So you're going to stay out because if the guy's not putting an accurate grouping on you,
why would you go in?
Yeah, you don't need to go in because he's missing 2 feet to the left, 2 feet to the right. And you just see that with Fit. I mean, they just look so comfortable in their gunfights. And like you said, they play up bodies a lot. So they very rarely make poor decisions in those high body situations. And it really, again, it just comes down to how much time behind the gun do you have.
And yeah, the more time you spend behind the gun, and the more time you're in those control positions, the smoother you play at that, that style.
Absolutely. So Austin Notorious up by 1 point. Be a big win for them if they could take down Distortion here and go 1-1 today.
Struggling earlier, but I feel like the momentum's definitely gone their way. Again, Distortion gets a kill on the break and is playing on a 5-on-4 advantage here.
Yeah, Distortion actually losing a body. So they lose a body from this, from the X side, typically what we would call the snake side, but there's really no snake out here in the way that this layout is, but there is a gigantic X here dead center of your screen. And it's been fun to watch this X played. I mean, it's been a little bit of when both teams are in there, it gets a little chaotic.
Well, and there's definitely way more options here than a traditional ladder snake, right?
Well, yes, definitely a lot of creative offensive options. 2 bodies do walk off for Notorious.
Yeah, that's rough.
Take some ground out here.
So 4-on-3 advantage here for Distortion. Down by 1 point. Fit is in this 50 again. And this isn't White, it's the other guy playing. I believe he's from the Seattle Thunder. Oh, Gracie gets caught. Should have dove there. Went in a little bit high and gets caught. Oh, but player here for Distortion. Notorious makes 2 good kills.
Yeah, whoever is wearing Franz's jersey is just dicing people up over there.
It's a local guy. I feel terrible too right now because I can't think of his name.
NorCal dude?
Yeah. Real good, solid guy. So Notorious is going to go up by 2. Distortion, 5 minutes left in this match. Distortion has been losing these breakouts on the points that Notorious is winning. So Distortion wants to get back in this match. They got to first survive the breakout and then try to beat Notorious up to that 50.
Yeah, I mean, Notorious has definitely been doing a good job of getting guys. Oh, it's Archie Barnes.
Archie, yeah. Arnold kept coming to my mind. I was like, not Arnold. It's not Arnold.
Yeah, I was looking at his body language, and I'm like, okay, we definitely know who this guy
Asian
is.
under that jersey.
Yeah, Archie Barnes. Yeah, he's a badass. So, and he's looking good out here. Yeah, just gives another weapon. Picking up Grayson for this one, who's guesting from AC Diesel, getting Archie Barnes Jr. out there. This is looking good for him.
Yep.
And they got a little bit of a lead here. Talking about lead, PaintballFIT 4-point lead over Carolina Crisis. So if things do not change, Crisis will go 1-1 today. This is the first time we've seen Fit. They'll have another one. Yeah, Fit's next game is going to be against the Titans. And the Titans in a tie, they had control of most of that game against Blast Camp. And Blast Camp's
surprising for sure.
Top team out here, so one of the top 2 teams.
And kind of play similarly to Fit usually, where they usually are winning that breakout and kind of playing control paintball.
If you're a Fit fan, you're hoping that they don't sleep on the Titans, kind of like Blast Camp did, because I think Blast Camp came out a little soft in the beginning of that one.
A little cocky.
At least, again, just from going what we've seen out of Blast Camp, and the Titans only 1 appearance for them, coming from New Zealand. It's a long trip, so respect to them for making the trip.
Yeah, how long is that drive?
It's really long.
Crisis just struggling on the breakout. I think they've lost every breakout so far.
20 seconds.
Yeah, it's just a lot of a steady dose of accurate shots off the break for Fit, and then good closes from them.
Well, I think on this field, one of the key things, Matty, is going to be putting pressure back on the home as your guys are breaking out.
Yeah.
Because if you don't do that, those guys are going to sit back there and kick kills.
Yeah, talking to a lot of guys yesterday, we heard a lot of that. Putting pressure back on the shooters, pretty key to trying to get to some spots. It really helps your front players out if those shooters need to dodge paintballs in the first second. And now Crisis, they do shoot a body, and they get a player up into that crucial 50-yard line spot.
In my opinion, he's looking the wrong way, Matt.
I totally agree. You want to look inside, but Fit's not giving him anything. They have this 4-point lead, so they're not risking. So I feel like they actually also need offense right now. So I like that he's being proactive in there. What they need is help. Crisis needs a body in this X, and they need it quick here.
Yeah, if Crisis gets in here, that forces Fit to come over here and allows him to get that elimination.
Absolutely, and it's going to force them to react to the body in the X. So, you know, Crisis with 4 points needed just to tie and 5 minutes and 44 seconds left to work with, they need to get things going. I think they're feeling the sense of urgency as Adams gets into box 2.
This is one of the few points where Crisis has had 5 guys left alive. And I would say that obviously one player's eliminated.
Yeah,
Fit taking the walk too, though.
Yeah,
so 4 on 4 now.
Chavez was the offense for Fit over there on that side. Talked about their offensive capabilities. He's their main guy on the D side, but he does take the early walk. It's going to open things up for Crisis as Adams dives in, glides in here to the 50-yard line in the X. He's going to pop. He's not quite tall enough to pop the top, actually, looks like. He's going to get some help. Another body coming in for Crisis, and Crisis swarming here.
Yeah.
Starting to move up the field, Rich.
I believe it's a 4-on-3 advantage here for Crisis. One of the first advantages they've had in this match. I like that. We haven't seen this yet now. Crawling to the inside.
Adams looking for a
Oh,
way.
and Adams catches the first look.
I'm going to say they're looking for a way to crack it open, and it didn't happen there. Luckily for Crisis, they do have another body here in the X.
Yeah, I believe it's Crisis with 3 bodies left alive now, and Fit with at least 3, if not 4.
We'll see if Brandon can get it done here, as he's the next body to go, but they don't have a lot of time to work with, and Fit is gunfighting mightily from these back spots, just really trying to burn clock off right now.
It's that tower on the drill side that they need to eliminate as Crisis loses another body.
God, Fit is so good at this.
Yeah.
They're not in the best spots. There are, well, I mean, these back spots are pretty legit, and Fit is showing us what we might see out of some of these top teams. You just get shot again?
Yeah. Direct hit, no bounce.
Yeah, where, Rich?
Ow.
It didn't break.
I wiped that shit.
And here we go.
Nice move.
Little counter move from Johnson.
Johnson now assassinating referees left and right, and also one of the Carolina Crisis players. It's like Fit's going to win another point. It's going to be 6-1 with 3:49 left in the match.
Mark Johnson guesting here with PaintballFIT and still getting it done. Ageless assassin in his own right.
Still doing work.
He's a one-on-one champ. Everybody loves Mark Johnson, and an all-star. He's going to be representing AC Diesel. Giving us a little taste of it right there. Yeah, Fit looking strong. Looking, as they rightfully so, a favorite out here. Solid squad. Chavez been doing work on that D side. We just saw Mark Johnson finish one off. Luke Owls, Mason been playing real solid for him too. Haven't seen a ton of points out of them yet. This is just game number 1. They are going to be throwing down a couple more sets. We'll see him again, but looking like they should be cruising to a victory here.
See him all weekend long.
20 seconds.
Notorious up by 2. Beginning of this match was all Distortion. Notorious has come back, taking the momentum. See if Distortion can get back in this game. There's plenty of time, only down by 2 points. Looks like Notorious is going to go with that similar breakout again. 2-1-2. Ooh, Marky Franz got a good swing on that gun for the breakout. Was not able to eliminate anybody, though, so 5-on-5 here. Oh, as I say that, the first FSU player is taking the walk. I think that might have been Archie. So 4-on-5 advantage here for Distortion.
Secondary,
still down by 2 points.
Yeah, secondary move for Notorious to get Marky up here, but looks like they're going to be losing a body.
2 body, 3
2 ball. Got a minor penalty assessed as well.
Yeah.
Not looking good for Distortion right now. Or sorry, for Notorious.
Haber now getting in here. He's going to spend see a nice little battle between Haber and Marky Franz.
Well, this is what Distortion needed. Down by 2 with 4 minutes and 20 seconds left.
Yep.
Haber trying to find. Oh, Marky eats him up.
He found him.
Marky almost getting shot cross field. He actually might have. I think he did. So he had to focus on Haber, but he backed up a little bit too far off, and some ground taken by Distortion on that D side. Cost Marky his body.
Grayson's in the X corner over here, but he's in a 1-on-4, so that's a tough situation.
CJ Chamber in a pretty good spot here, trying to close things out for Distortion.
Yeah, we got Tommy Cole up here. Hey, Tommy Cole.
Tom Cole making a little guest appearance, making his rounds.
Distortion making the push, 4-on-1 here. Really need to win this point, down by 2 with 5 minutes left in this match. Excuse me, 3:37 left in the match. 1 point. It's going to separate these two teams with a little bit over 3:30 left in the match.
Making it a game here.
Yeah, good comeback from Distortion.
Yeah, good off the break shots for him. Good zone control as well, too. And most importantly, taking that ground on the D side once Marky Franz was in that X. And even though they did lose Haber in that engagement, nice shot by Marky in that situation.
It looked
but
like
he
Marky
didn't know
thought about staying in there, and I'm glad he didn't draw that penalty because that would have been a rough one. You know, only one body left alive, not going to win that point.
But a penalty did cost him. You know, they put Marky in a pretty tough spot anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I like the counterattack, but he had no idea that move was made on the D side
Yeah.
because he was totally focused on Haber.
Well, and he wasn't playing super loose. He wasn't backed way off of it. He was still pretty tight.
Yeah.
It's just a tough spot if both those places are hot.
Yeah.
His grouping on Haber was nice, though.
Very tight group. Very tight.
Not so much here or here, but mostly in this area.
Yeah, Haber is definitely one of those dudes that even if he's just getting worn out there, he's just going to go right back at it. Like, you can shoot him 10 times in the back of the head. The next point, he's still going to be right at your 50, you know, so I
love that.
give respect to Haber for
yeah,
that.
I love
That's what you want to see out of a one. Need a little hardcore toughness. But he's a former Marine, so I get it.
Hoorah!
Yeah, I always forget. Is it? I think is for the Marines it's oorah or is it hoorah? Because I think the SEALs are oorah. I can't remember.
I don't know. And
I should know.
I've
been told this multiple times.
If I ever have a question or anything like that, you're the guy I go to. So if you're asking me, we're in trouble. In Modesto, we just say, a bang bang. Here we go. Notorious taking the field. Up by 1 point here.
Yeah, and respect to FIT, that Mercy Rule win over Crisis. It's a 5-point Mercy Rule in the semi-pro. So we'll have 2 minutes in between points in a close game here. See if Distortion can keep it up. And again, look, I know that Notorious picked up Grayson. He's got some experience. But just looking on paper at the pro experience that Distortion has, picking up those 4 outlaw bodies,
Yeah, that's huge.
I mean, still, if you were doing some Vegas odds, you might have to make this even or a little bit in Distortion's favor with the bodies that Distortion has, started to comprise the starting lineup with.
Yeah, Distortion drops 2.
This goes to show you how good Notorious is getting, though.
Yep. Distortion down with 3 bodies left alive now. FSU filling the center. Oh, Haber's going to feast right here. Yeah, gets 1. Oh, but he doesn't look across the field. Gets bunkered.
Yeah, Distortion needs to do a little bit better job of protecting Haber.
For sure. Look at him.
Yeah, Haber, we just talked. Don't worry, he'll be right back in the 50 in the next one. He's going to have to do quite a bit of cleaning,
He's
though.
gritty. They've got 4 pairs of goggles for him over there.
They should.
Distortion down, 2 players left alive. Matty, the tower on this side of the field, transitioning to a juice box, and the Dorito 3. FSU with 2 bodies left alive. Grayson here, another on the other tape. I don't know if there's a third that I'm missing, but certainly 2-on-2 or 3-on-3 as FSU Notorious makes a good move outside, gets that elimination. Now 2-on-1, Matt.
Yeah, Grayson Gladstone for Notorious, going to finish this one off and going to extend the lead a bit.
2 points with 2:20 left, and there was a third guy hiding in the corner there.
Yeah, it's a crucial point here for Notorious with just 2:27. That now puts it in, Distortion in a situation where they are going to have to go towards a reckless attack. They're going to have to be riding on that the edge of, which just makes it a little bit more difficult, a little more risky.
I don't know if you picked up on this or not, but the power move by the Notorious guy that was hiding in the corner in that 3-on-1, he sprinted down once he saw that they'd already shot the last guy and stole one of the pods off the opposing team and sprinted off the field.
Oh, I love that.
Very powerful move.
Yeah,
very powerful.
We won the point, and I'm stealing your pod before your pod runner gets out here.
Just so you guys know.
Yeah,
we're beating you on the field, and we're stealing your gear as we do it. So
maybe he didn't bring enough pods. Or maybe he left a few at home.
I think he's trying to make up for not engaging in that 3-on-1. No, I was there, guys.
He's doing his part, Rich.
Pods.
He's doing his part. He stole a pod. I mean, he did his part. So
2 minutes between these points because we are in true X ball.
Yeah, and coming up next, going to see the ML Kings dropping their first game by 2 to Columbus level. They're going to be playing hometown crew, Sacramento DMG, who needs a good performance here. And then also we're going to see Blast Camp and CEP. CEP had a tie against Distortion, and then Blast Camp also had a tie against the Titans.
So both have something to prove out here. DMG does have a strong program. When you come up here, there's 40 or 50 DMG jerseys walking around. You're like, man, that's a lot of teams.
Yeah. And we also have a new sponsor coming in, McClinney, Mosley and Associates, a law firm. that specializes in representing businesses and individuals going after insurance companies. So if you need some, we'll give you guys that info, but they're sponsoring a move of the tournament.
I think that's awesome.
Yeah, so actually separate moves. It's a Sunday $1,000 prize
That's so
for
cool.
best move of Sunday, and $500 for the prelims.
Thank you guys so much. Really appreciate your support, Texas.
We'll be mentioning that throughout the weekend. And again, thank you guys so much for joining us here as 2022 NXL Golden State Open. A little outside of Sacramento, California, here at Capitol Edge. Dave Baines' field from Impact. Impact's here, Heat's here, Dynasty's here. Some of the top teams in the world going to be throwing down this afternoon. Dynasty got to be the favorite, though. 4 major wins in a row. The interesting point of note, though, is Dynasty did not do well, didn't make Sunday in Texas at the last minor.
Yeah,
so
they don't have the kind of brain power you need to be able to play these
not enough experience
blind layouts.
for the
Yeah, they
blind
don't have the
layouts.
experience for the blind layouts.
Hey,
they struggle.
For a new team, they've been doing really well, though.
Yeah, with new pickups like that kid Alex, they're going to be okay, but still they're going to struggle on the blind layouts. Here we go. Notorious really looking good the last half of this match. 5 alive as Distortion attacks the X over here, but not with Haber. CJ gets up in there. Interesting. Grayson comes in and cancels CJ out there, so they're both going to play the same spot. It'll be a good little battle in between these two. Neither one of them knows that they're in there. See which one finds out who's in there first. Haber now taking a walk out of the back juice box there. Oh, I think Grayson's going to get the drop on CJ here. Oh, CJ hears his gun.
He hears the gun, and Grayson does not know that he's there, so CJ is going to dive through, and does he get him in the foot here? I don't know if he shot him on the dive. The referee's going to come in, and a collision here is, as there goes, was that Archie Barnes? No, that was White. White comes through, hits the referee. Both bodies come off here for Notorious.
That was carnage, for sure.
Yeah, that was
a little scary.
That's the craziness of this X, man. It gets nasty over here. But during that chaos, Notorious slipping in to the V on the D side there on your screen, and he's in a real good spot to try to close this out. Just a minute and 20 seconds left to go as there goes Distortion's going to launch. They need to just to tie. Not looking good for him here in this one, though, Rich.
Yeah, Notorious still got 3 alive, and Marky Franz makes a good move out to that kind of anchor corner that we've been talking about on the X side, Matty, and he can really make it hard for Distortion to come in and get that last point by guarding the flag there from the X corner there.
Under a minute, could be decided right here. If Notorious puts up another one, that should be enough of a buffer, barring some sort of insanity.
1-on-2, Distortion player all by himself in that Dorito corner, kind of feeling like he had some help.
And the tough thing here for Distortion is they've run out of time. They really can't concede this one. Now they have to. So with 40 seconds left, they're going to concede. It's a 3-point spread now, 40 seconds. This game should be going to Notorious. The question is just, what is this spread going to look like?
You know, out of all your friends, I like to argue with you the least.
That's a lie.
But you said Harbor is one of those dudes that, you know, he's just going to keep coming back.
Haber.
Sorry, Haber is one of those dudes, and he didn't come back.
You know what? You make a strong point, and for maybe the first time ever, I'm going to give you
that. Can I borrow that pen? I want to write this down.
Okay.
Thank you.
Write that down for
Rich
for posterity.
Was right. What's the date? Thank you. And the time? Thank you.
You know what? That's just Haber letting me down. You know.
Thanks for nothing, Haber.
Yeah. I mean, he did catch about 20 in that last one. His goggles are completely destroyed, so he had changed lenses out probably.
Well, and he's been diving in there a lot today, right?
Yeah. I also did get a text from Mike Bianca, coach for the Hurricanes, who grew up in a Marine family, and definitely military family. I believe the Marines, but he said it is oorah.
Oorah.
For the Marines.
He would know.
Yeah. And he said that, I think that according to, if memory serves for Mike, that Haber was Marine Recon in Korea.
Nice.
So, which makes him about 75 years old.
I was just going to say, I was like, the Korean conflict was quite a while ago, wasn't it?
I think that's where he was stationed, but yeah. Tough dude, but yeah, didn't come out for that last one.
No, I think he did juice box. Though. I think.
Oh, juice, sorry.
Yeah,
juice
he
box.
might have just been tired because
I meant like didn't go to the 50.
Right.
Again.
I was like, literally, he's been going there every single point.
Yeah. Yeah.
They shot him one time going there.
Yeah, it's just any team that Haber's on when he's hits center court, he's one of the guys we have to talk about because he's just always at the 50-yard line. So good guy to have on the squad. But unfortunately for Distortion, Austin Notorious looking pretty legit right now.
Yeah, and Distortion started off winning the match handily, you know, and then the momentum switched and Notorious started surviving the breakouts. And then once they started surviving the breakouts and playing 5-on-5, they were just too much for Distortion to handle.
This is good for Notorious, though. Dropped a 1-point spread loss
it.
and needed to come out here, not go 0-2, and now to get potentially a 3-point spread win, maybe 4, because Distortion probably going to send it.
Yeah, then
and
this
that gives an advantage for Notorious to bring the spread to 4.
This matches are kind of our first high-scoring match of the day with FIT, you know, scoring 5 and
our first set.
our first set, yeah.
Yeah. We did see 10 points out of the Blast Camp Titans match.
Oh, dude, okay.
Yeah, it was 5-5. So, but yeah, I mean, and then the Crisis Notorious, that was a 2-1 game. So
Yeah.
we've seen a bit of everything out here already through 3 sets this morning. Got the Golden State Open. Lots more paintball to go, though, and I am glad we did get started at 7.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be warm this afternoon.
By about 3 this afternoon.
Yeah, it's still perfect out right now, though.
Yeah.
This is one of those tournaments where you're looking at the bracket. It's always nice to play in the morning, but it's particularly nice to play in the morning when it's going to be 95 this afternoon.
Yeah. Running and shooting to the 50.
Yeah, Haber, like you
the
said,
style.
sending it. 2 bodies do come off for Notorious, though. Haber might have shot Grayson on the run.
Yeah, you know, down by 3. Can't really give him a hard time for that. Looks like, oh no, FSU got, I mean, Notorious gets a check, but he's clean. CJ's in the middle there for Distortion.
Distortion, 20 seconds to go to try to put another point on the board here for spread. Going to take the loss regardless. Chamber in a really good spot here, past the 50, but they're running out of time. 10 seconds to go.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to score this one, but great match here for Distortion and Notorious.
Going to have a chance here to maybe get it at 32. Not able to get into that last second to get that buzzer, and that is going to do it. So it's going to do it for the set. Austin Notorious taking a 3-point lead. They will go 1-1 on the day. And then PaintballFIT looking outstanding against Crisis. Crisis goes 1-1. PaintballFIT with a Mercy Rule win. They're going to be playing in a couple sets. So stick around, more paintball coming at you here. 2022 NXL Golden State Open. I'm Matty Marshall with Rich Telford here at Go Sports. We'll be back.